we played in some good ones at Clemson. So I don't ever look back and think about what could have been. But no, I have a lot of buddies that are big Georgia fans. So this game's always
When you were growing
super
up?
big for. Yeah, when I was
Would you
growing
watch
up,
it?
I was never a Georgia fan. Like I was born in Tennessee, then moved to Georgia when I was younger. So, but then all my buddies were Georgia fans, so they would always watch the game and got excited. They'd come to the game all the time, but I never thought too much about it.
Trevor, first bye week for you of your NFL career. How do you manage taking time off, but then also focusing on Seattle? I know you told us last Tuesday, like you turned right on Wednesday to focusing on the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think it's just knowing how to get back into it. Obviously, you never totally remove yourself because it's a long season, and you know we've gotten a lot of progress up to this point, a lot of good progress. So we got to keep building on that. But it is like I said before, you got to have a break. So I think just knowing how to snap back in, and when it's time to go to work, like when we clocked in on Monday, breaks over, like it's time to go. And all the guys have been great and getting back ready to play this weekend. And we got a really good game plan so far. So it's really about taking whatever we install, whatever we do every week, and diving in, and everyone knowing the ins and outs of every little thing they have to do. And I thought we did a really good job of that last week, and I think you saw it carry over. So just that is realizing it's back to work. We got 11 straight, and there's no time to waste. So we gotta keep working and keep getting better. And I think the guys have a good understanding of that. And being a young guy, I feel like I do too. So it's all good.
Physically, how much did you maybe need a couple days to kind of recover a little bit, especially after
Yeah.
that London game?
Yeah, it was nice. Like my sleep, whatever, was all messed up. My time clock was, because we were 5 hours ahead there, so it was super weird. But I needed a few days to get back, so I was glad. I thought the bye week was at a really good time and get some guys back healthy, and I thought it was good. We came off with a lot of momentum and carried that into this week, and it was good for us. But now our eyes are forward, moving on to play in Seattle.
Where has Jamal Agnew made his biggest strides as a receiver since camp started, when you first started working with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been just a really good player in my eyes. Just seeing how friendly he is running routes. He just understands zones and how to get leverage and win his matchups. I think he's always been really good at that. But I guess just seeing how he's really taken on this new role and can really do anything. Like we can put him wherever, and it adds a lot of flexibility to our offense, and that's something that's always good. And then just seeing him get more and more confident at receiver. I think before, obviously he knew what he could do, and he helped us a lot at receiver, but didn't play as much. But he was mostly a special teams guy, and now that he knows, he's one of the main guys, and he's going to be getting the ball a lot, and he's been creating a lot of opportunities for himself. I think you see that confidence growing more and more in himself, and then really in all of us. Like for me as a quarterback, when you start getting all those guys out there that are just playing confident, if you put the ball near him, he's going to make a play. That helps a lot when you feel that as a quarterback, and I think we're getting there. So it's great.
Shaquille spent some time in Seattle, obviously. You're taking on that defense. He knows their system pretty well. Do you spend any time this week picking his brain about some of the things they like to do in situations?
Well, I haven't yet. It's good that Coach Schottenheimer, that's our quarterback coach, he was there for 3 years, so he's got a lot of really good insight and knows their staff really well. And he's helped us a lot. Just watching film, little tidbits and nuggets of whatever that could be useful carrying over into the game. He's been great so far. So, but yeah, Shaq would be a great guy to talk to too, because he was in that defense for however many years. But yeah, Shotty obviously has a good feel for it, and he's helped a lot.
What kind of a challenge is Jamal Adams, just considering how much he moves around pre-snap?
Yeah, it's always a challenge when you're playing a great player, no matter what position he is, but especially at safety, just because there's so much freedom. You can roam around and kind of go wherever before the snap, and then they eventually got to get to their spot, but it can mess with you a little bit as a quarterback. So I think that's just something that he's going to do, and you see it on film, and you're prepared for that. But you always have tips on things, and they're doing their best to take away all those and change them up every game, but we're doing our best to figure them out. So, it goes both ways, and you always have your tips and clues, and pre-snap reads have to be really good, and just being aware of how he plays the games. Very physical, makes a lot of plays in the box, but I've seen him make some really good plays downfield as well. He had a play against New Orleans, playing cover 2, broke up a pass on the sideline. So you see him playing the ball well too at times. So he's a guy that can do a lot of different things. Obviously likes to be in the box and play physical, likes to get sacks and blow up plays, but Just always knowing where he's at is the main thing. But you still got to go play the game.
You
When
were
you see
growing.
him downfield, he seems to wait a little bit longer than most safeties to sort of commit to where he's going. It's almost like he's playing a chess game with the quarterback, because, quarterbacks like to, show one way, go the other.
Yeah.
Does he wait a little bit longer? Of course, you gotta have the speed to be able to do that. Does he seem to wait a little bit longer, making it harder on the quarterback to kind of figure out what he's doing?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know if I could really answer that as like with a matter of fact, like whether he does or not. I mean, I think he's got a really good feel for the game, and you see guys like him and Buda Baker and safeties that really they're really unique the way they play. But like I said, I think that's the biggest part of it is when the safety has all that freedom and he can go wherever. He has all these little nuances that, you play against some guys where they're really by the book. Cover 2, boom, they're going to get right to their spot. Cover 3, they're going to do it right by the book. And Jamal Adams isn't really one of those guys. Neither is Buda Baker, a guy we played earlier in the year. So that makes it harder for sure. And they just have great instincts. So like I said, you always just have to know where he is.
You were growing up during the Seattle Super Bowl team, 2013, and they went back 2014. That defense obviously is no longer, but what were your impressions growing up of Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty young then, but obviously, I know it's.
I didn't want to say middle school. I was like doing
What was
the
that?
math,
What
I'm like,
2014
yeah,
was?
2014.
I was 15, so like freshman into freshman year.
I was in college. Does that make you feel? No,
Yeah, fresh. No, I mean, just obviously, I remember watching that team. Had a great defense. I was young, so but I knew they had a ton of playmakers. Cam Chancellor, the Legion of Boom, all those guys. Like that's something I think everybody remembers, and that was a really, really fun team to watch.
Urban said, I guess guys told him that Seattle is the loudest place he'll ever coach at, and he was like LSU, Penn State, Alabama, and I'm like, yeah, it's even louder than that. So, would that surprise you? I mean, you played in front of some pretty
Yeah,
big crowd.
I've heard the same thing. It's super loud. The fans are super into the game. They're invested in their team. Like I've heard it's a great place to play. So I've played at a lot of really loud stadiums, but we're ready for whatever. I think when you're getting ready to play a road game, you're always ready for the max level of noise. So you do everything you can to prepare, and then if you get there and it's not as loud as you think, you can, that's easy to adjust that way. But if you didn't prepare for a loud game and then you can't communicate, it's really hard to last minute get all that in order. So we're going to prepare like we're not going to be able to hear anything, and then going from there, if we can, we'll adjust, as the game goes. But we're definitely preparing for a loud atmosphere.
Remiss in not asking you this last week. How did it feel to start some drives on the enemy side of the field?
It was great. Yeah, I thought we played a really complimentary game. Defense had that huge turnover right after we turned it over. They got the strip sack on me, and I think a couple plays later, maybe even the next play, I don't remember exactly. Nevin got the pick. So that's playing complimentary ball, and I think that's a huge reason we won the game. We played well and played together when we really needed to, and you saw those little moments in the game that ended up. You look at the final score, 1-3. It changed the whole game for sure.
Does getting a win like that, does it do anything for this team's confidence?
For sure. It was like I said, I think I said it the first time, we met when I came back. It was, we've always had the confidence of we know we're a good team, we know what we're capable of, but I don't think you really can. Eventually you have to put that into action. You got to go win a game, and it took us 5 games to do that, but now we know, if we prepare, if we play together and play a full 4 quarters, we can beat whoever, and that just made that a fact. Before that it was like, well, we haven't won any games so far, and we still had confidence, but at some point you got to win, and we did that, and I think that just adds to our confidence at this point, and feel great about it.
Historically, this franchise has struggled in games on the West Coast. How does traveling from obviously here in Florida over to the West Coast make it more difficult on you as a player?
Yeah, I think you just have to really take advantage of all your resources, make sure you're getting all your sleep, really just preparing as best you can. Obviously, the time change, you get out there, you can't really control that, that it's going to be different. But I think just making sure you're getting your rest, trying to stay on schedule as much as you can. But I think after going to London, that'll help, because that was a 5-hour difference. So this won't be near as bad. But so I think that'll actually help us, because that was just 2 weeks ago. So we're not really worried about that. But I think it is important, obviously, to hydrate. It's a long flight. Get your rest, make sure you're in bed, getting your sleep, because we're there a night early, so that'll be good.
I know Urban said the coaching staff watched the Monday night game together. Did you guys watch the Monday night game as a group, or were you watching it at home, or did you watch it the next day?
No, so I watched it at home with Marissa. I don't know what everybody else did, but I watched like probably like the last 3 quarters, and then when we came in, I watched it the next day too. On the cut up is a little bit cleaner, easier to watch than on TV. You miss some things, so I watched both of those. But yeah, I think most of the guys did for sure.
What was that? Kind of weird. I feel like normally you guys probably come in on a Monday because your opponent usually have played on Sunday.
Yeah.
So what was that kind of like? Like you came to work on Monday, but get to wait till kind of Monday night to see exactly what this team with Geno Smith at the helm and that defense and everything else would look like.
It's great. It just adds a day to our prep and one more time to get to see them play, especially watching a game live or just all the way through is a different feel than watching just a cut up. You get to see how they play in different situations with momentum, not with momentum, all those different things. You get to really watch a team, so I think that was big. And then obviously when you get to watch the team you're playing and you're off, like that's huge. So, but at the end of the day, you still got to go play the game and prepare, and they're going to have all of our games that we've played too. So, but yeah, it helps for sure.
When you're watching a game, do you turn off quarterback and just watch the game to enjoy it, or do you keep quarterback on and you're looking for stuff, even if it's not against a team you're going to play?
Yeah, it depends. If it's a team we're playing, I definitely try to look for things and try to. I don't do it every play, but as much as I can, act like I was in there and use what we have in our system and match it up kind of with the formation or protection or whatever it is and make my calls. But I don't do that every play. But when it is a team you're playing, you do that more. But there's some times where I do just kind of switch it off, and I'm like, oh, that was a sweet throw or catch, or just kind of watch it. But it's hard to just sit there and watch it. You kind of analyze everything. But no, I kind of go back and forth.
Regular broadcast or Manning cast?
I haven't seen the Manning cast yet. I've just seen the highlights. I heard it's great.
Assuming you get ESPN2 on your TV.
Maybe, I don't know. I need to watch it though. I've seen the videos of it. It looks really cool, but no, I haven't really. I've just watched the normal game.
Is Marissa a football junkie in the sense that she would actually provide analysis of football as she's watching it?
Not really. I mean, she kind of is just because she has to be. It's just such a big part of our life.
Yeah.
She's grown to love it, and we'll watch the game. And even though I'm always playing, always at practice, even come home, a game's on, we both just watch the game. So that's just such a big part of our life. But she doesn't analyze it that much now.
Does she ever tell you anything you need to work on after watching you play?
Yeah, she always tells me I need to work on sliding. She doesn't like when I get hit. So that's always a big point when I get home. So.
All right,